एक बार चेक कर सकते हो लाइव गया है कि नहीं?
I think we are live.
Okay, so we are live, and I can see already people. So this is Sourav, and today we'll be talking on a very interesting subject, which is called the mycelium. And I will give a little brief that how I came across this mycelium thing, and then we will take forward. Gitartha is with me; he is joining from, and to him in detail, deeper, and we will try to know कि क्या है ये mycelium, क्या potential है, हमारे इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है और गीता उसके साथ क्या क्या काम कर रहे हैं. But before we move in, I how I'm in contact, or I came to know about this mycelium. So maybe a year back or so, I saw a documentary film by the name Fantastic Fungi. So Fantastic Fungi एक ऐसा documentary film है जो randomly मेरे पास आया, किसी ने suggest किया था या कहीं से तो मैंने देखा, and I started watching this documentary film Fantastic Fungi, and the effect and impact of that film was immense. मतलब 2-3 दिन तक रहा कि ये मैंने क्या देखा, right? हम सब लोग को, we all know about fungi, we all know about mushrooms, but I was never aware, or I was never had this fact कि mushroom or mycelium can be such a powerful thing. And also to give you a idea कि ये कितना बड़ा है, potential है. So when we say mycelium, we are probably talking about the biggest living organism on Earth, and probably 30% of the Earth's soil mass is mycelium. It is the biggest nature's internet, we can say. It is the biggest nature's internet across the Earth's surface, and also it has a great potential to give us solutions for like solutions related to medicine, food, architecture, and most importantly, it is a great alternative to plastic. सारे दुनिया भर में इसके साथ काम हो रहा है, लोग बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं, बट ये बहुत एक नया सब्जेक्ट है दुनिया के लिए भी और खास करके इंडिया के लिए. So that curiosity, and when I came across the idea of mycelium, I started for what is happening in India all around mycelium. So मुझे काफी स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा टू फाइंड आउट कि हमारे इंडिया में हो क्या रहा है mycelium को लेके. लेकिन फिर फाइनली आई सर्च्ड एंड आई केम अक्रॉस this website, which is the ResearchGate, where people across the world, they submit their papers and peer review होता है उधर पे और papers को submit माना जाता है. There I came Gitartha, who is from Assam, और फिर जब मैंने गितार्था के साथ कनेक्ट किया, मुझे पता चला कि he has a lot of interest in mycelium and he was about to study, do PhD and all those things. But unfortunately, कुछ ऐसे चीजें हैं जो हो नहीं पाया, वो कर नहीं पाया, which Gitarth will talk more on that. But somehow for me, come across someone who is really who was really working on mycelium from his college days, or maybe earlier than that. But then उसके साथ काफी लंबा चौड़ा बात हुआ और हमने ये डिसाइड किया कि हम कुछ करेंगे, बट somehow because of our work pressure, our life, हम लोग कुछ कर नहीं पाए खास. लेकिन ये हमारे जहन में तब से है कि mycelium को लेके हमें कुछ करना है. So this is a kind of first step that we are taking, and that is about it, and also to involve all the community members, those who are following us on social media. So ये पहला कदम है. I hope in the future we will do a lot of things in and around mycelium, and Gitarth will especially with all his ideas, he will definitely come up with a positive thing with mycelium. So let's not waste any more time. Also, I would like to give a credit to Paul Stamets, because उनका ही ये फिल्म था जो हम सब लोगों को काफी encouragement or inspiration to look for mycelium and to see a mushroom in all different ways. So thank you so much for joining today. And
thank you very much.
सबसे पहले, first of all, if you can give a little introduction about yourself, that will help everyone to understand who you are. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I am a graduate in civil engineering from Assam Engineering College, and I did my master's in structural engineering from NIT Silchar. And presently I am pursuing my PhD. And PhD के मतलब जब PhD में शुरू करने वाला था तब मतलब मैं टॉपिक्स ढूंढ रहा था मैं किस में मतलब PhD करूं, तो तब मैं एक टॉपिक ढूंढ था, वो था सस्टेनेबल बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स और इको फ्रेंडली बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स, ग्रीन बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स जो लाइक एनवायरनमेंट फ्रेंडली है. तो when I was searching for those topics, I remember I came across mycelium. So that was my that was how I came in touch while I was searching for PhD research topics. So when I came across the first video of mycelium, I was really amazed. I was surprised and I was shocked also. Like all the feelings came at one time. And then I started researching more and more. I downloaded whatever video was available in YouTube. Each and every video I downloaded. Whatever article was there in YouTube, in the internet, like everything was with me. I started collecting it from A to Z. I started studying it, and I was determined that I will be doing my PhD in mycelium. So that was my focus, and it was in 2017. It was 5 years back. So I made one research, research proposal regarding this building materials. I got in connection with some highly experienced scientists in fields of biotechnology, then experienced scientists in field of nanotechnology. And I tried to collaborate with them, and I tried to write one project for Department of Science and Technology also. But the thing is that when I first went when I first went, I first approached professors for being my supervisors in PhD work. The first thing that that we should know that suppose I need to supervise some student in some area, then I have to be an expert in that area to supervise the student. But the thing is that the professors, I approached professors from IIT, I approached professors from Assam Engineering College. But the thing is that they they told me the same thing, that if you want to supervise a student, you have to be an expert in that area. But there was no professor who was expert in the field of mycelium, because mycelium is a new topic. And maybe I was the only one who was studying mycelium at that time in Assam. And so that was the reason, and I think that was a valid reason too, because otherwise your supervisor will just be a liability for you if he is not an expert in the field in which you are doing your research. So ultimately that's how it did not work out. So I took some other topic in PhD, and I am presently pursuing it also. So but the professors that I met, everyone told me one thing, that you continue it independently. Even though you don't it will not be possible to continue it as a PhD, but try to continue it independently. Do it as an independent research, and we are sure that something will happen one day. So that was how it went on, and I started experimenting independently. I took as I'm working in an university. So in my university, I took 2 student groups, and I did some projects on mycelium materials with those 2 student groups, and we developed very nice materials at that time. It was 5 years back. We obtained those materials, and it was very satisfactory. The materials were very nice, and the only defect in those materials was the shelf life. Like it has to be durable to a certain for a certain period of time, isn't it? So that was the one thing that was left. और उस उसी चीज में काम करना थोड़ा रह गया. मतलब मटेरियल बन गया था, लेकिन उसका मटेरियल ड्यूरेबल मटेरियल बनाना, उसको मतलब उसके लिए थोड़ा रिसर्च करना रह गया. तो अभी धीरे धीरे स्टडीज चल रहा है कि इसको कैसे ड्यूरेबल बनाए. ग्रो करना तो आ गया, ग्रो कैसे करना है वो सब तो आ गया, कैसे क्या मतलब रेसिपी क्या है वो सब तो इतना साल स्टडी किया, वो सब तो आ गया, लेकिन अभी ड्यूरेबिलिटी का चीज में थोड़ा मतलब रिसर्च बाकी है. और प्रॉपर सेटअप, एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बात है प्रॉपर सेटअप. यहाँ पे मुझे प्रॉपर सेटअप नहीं मिला. एक कंट्रोल एनवायरनमेंट चाहिए ये काम करने के लिए, और वो कंट्रोल एनवायरनमेंट मुझे मिला नहीं. और थोड़ा खर्चा भी होता है, और एक इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्चर, like it becomes sometimes very difficult to fund everything, all the lab equipments by yourself from your own pocket. So that's why like अभी slow and steady it's going on. जितना हो सके, जितना मतलब अभी जितना फैसिलिटीज है उसमें से मतलब काम चल रहा है थोड़ा बहुत वही.
Okay. So yes, there will be struggle क्योंकि हम कुछ नया
Yes.
करते हैं और लोगों को उस बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है, पता नहीं है.
हाँ.
स्ट्रगल करके आगे बढ़ना होता है. एंड ऑल्सो बिलीव दैट दिस स्ट्रगल विल one day give you a fruit which will bear you a lot of knowledge. और मेरा ये बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीव है कि yes there will be a time, you know, जैसे पॉल स्टेमेट हैं जो जिनको दुनिया भर के लोग जानते हैं because of his work, and he has done a brilliant work, and he is like a father of this particular branch of science. So let's move forward, Gitarth. Let's talk about mycelium. एक mycelium का definition या mycelium क्या है अगर हम हमारे viewers को बताएं. So please give us a definition or describe mycelium for all our viewers.
Okay, so mycelium is a vegetative part of a fungus. Okay, तो अगर लाइक साइंस की भाषा को छोड़ दे, अगर दूसरी भाषा में अगर बताएं, अगर सबको अगर समझने में आसानी हो, तो मैं बोलूँगा कि एक पेड़ का फल होता है. तो सपोज मशरूम फल है, तो माइसीलियम वो पेड़ है. तो माइसीलियम ट्री एंड मशरूम इज द फ्रूट. So mycelium is that vegetative which when grows fully, then is the fruit which is called as mushroom. So आसान भाषा में मतलब ये definition है. Mycelium is the vegetative part of the fungus, and it is like one of the oldest microorganism. It was there from the very beginning, but like we did not have the like idea. The idea was not there to utilize this organism, even though it has from the very beginning. It is a like natural adhesive, we can say. It binds particles, and it's very fast in their growth, and like depends on like how you give the environment. The speed also matters. If you give a very controlled environment, the speed of growth is very high. If you don't like give it a controlled environment, if you just give a normal environment, then its growth may be like obstructed by other competing microorganisms.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Would you like to talk more about how you came in touch with mycelium, or shall move forward with the other questions?
माइसीलियम ऐसे तो मैंने आपको बोला कि मतलब तो मैंने जब पीएचडी शुरू किया था, तब मैंने सस्टेनेबल बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स, ग्रीन बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स जब मैं सर्च किया था तब ऐसे मिल गया. उसके बाद मैंने मशरूम कि कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से बात किया, और जब उनसे बात हुई तो उन लोगों से मैं मशरूम स्पॉन्स सब प्रोक्योर किया था मैंने, और वहां से मैंने काम स्टार्ट किया था। तो जितना माइसीलियम आपका लोकली अवेलेबल रहता है वो सब मैंने प्रोक्योर किया था। हर एक तरह का माइसीलियम हर एक जगह पे नहीं मिलता, तो अभी इस रीजन में जो माइसीलियम मिलेगा उसी से काम शुरू करना। तो यहाँ पे जो मिला था उस टाइम पे, बैक 5 years ago, तो उसी माइसीलियम से हम लोग ने स्टार्ट किया था, और लकीली लाइक काम हो भी गया था। लाइक वी गॉट वेरी गुड नाइस प्रोडक्ट्स with that. And if I carry on, like when I realized that it could not be done as a like PhD work, it can only be done independently. And I started working on it independently. I came across a conference really about a paper which got like 12,414 reads till now. 1,414 people have studied. I did not expect it actually in these 5 years. So how I came
Is
across
this
this,
is this
how,
the is this the same paper that you submitted on the ResearchGate?
yes, I'm telling you the story of this paper.
Okay.
So it was like when I started working on it independently. So then I came across a conference. It was a conference on waste management. It was called as Recycle. The name of the conference was Recycle. How you utilize the waste. So I thought that this work that I'm doing, we are actually utilizing agricultural wastes to make mycelium products, because mycelium, we let it grow on agricultural waste. So my work will be very suitable for presenting in that conference, Recycle 2018, as far as I remember. So I gave this, I presented it in that conference, and it got very good reviews in that conference. And after the conference was over, I uploaded it in ResearchGate. And after that, the story began. I started getting calls till yesterday. I like not yesterday, but till recent days. I have kept on getting calls only because of that paper which I uploaded in ResearchGate. If I would not have uploaded it, I would not have gotten in contact with numerous people, including you, I guess, only because of that paper. That was how the paper was made, and like and I was lucky enough to get in contact with very good people, like and also from abroad. I met people from Israel. There was one lady, Leslie Viva Woodfin. She got in contact with me, and she was writing an article for BBC, and in that article, even my work was mentioned in the BBC article. So I felt very great that my work was mentioned in BBC article. It was not a small thing for me, and I thanked her, and we are still in contact. And then I met one person, Shristha, who is a consultant, and he is an MBA from Yale University. Then I met one person, Vikas, from Canada. Then I met UN Young Chamber. So I met many big shots, through this paper itself. They came in contact with me. I met one person called Narasimha Prasad, who is the CEO of Waterbox Beverages, and he is also working in this mycelium products. And like that, these are just to name a few. And I then came in contact with one person called Nishant Bhagya. He was the founder and CEO of Shroom Labs. Now, Shroom Labs is a company which was set up for making mycelium products. It was based in Pune, and I was working with them since 2001, since the beginning of 2001. but right now the companies is temporarily shutting down its work for a temporary period of time, but I have been working with them for more than a year. So but the thing is that uh, although I have met so many people, uh, there was with nobody, like the final material was actually made. किसी के साथ मतलब वो काम पूरा end तक नहीं हो पाता. जितने लोगों से बात हुआ, किसी के साथ तो वो फाइनल मटेरियल बनना चाहिए था और मार्केट तक आना चाहिए, लेकिन वो हो नहीं पाया. तो इसलिए थोड़ा डिमोटिवेटेड हो गया मैं फिर. और जब आदमी कांटेक्ट करने लगे, तो एक टाइम में मैं ऐसा हुआ था कि और जब कांटेक्ट आता था मैं लिख ही देता था कि राइट नाउ आई एम नॉट सो मच होपफुल अबाउट दिस वर्क. कैसे भी मैं लिखता था, बिकॉज आई हैव हैड न्यूमरस फेल्ड कॉन्वर्सेशंस विद पीपल. सो बात वही है, मतलब मैं थोड़ा मतलब एक टाइम पे बोर्ड भी हो गया था. मतलब सिर्फ फेल्ड कॉन्वर्सेशंस हो रहे हैं, लेकिन मुझे लग रहा है कि एक ना एक दिन तो होगा ही. लाइक इट
and al-
लाइक
and also your
प्रॉपर
work was and also
it
your
will
work
happen one
was
day.
mentioned in
May
some
not be
BBC
like
article.
now, but it will happen. I don't think I'm not being able to hear you.
Oh, can
Your voice is not audible.
can you hear me now?
I'm not being able to hear you.
Oh, that's a problem. Uh, okay. Uh, can you hear me now?
I think there is some problem with the audio, I guess.
Oh, okay. Just wait. Okay. Can you hear me now?
There is
Audio check.
some, I think,
Hello.
some problem.
Okay. Uh, Gitat, can you check your audio? Now, can you hear me?
Let me my audio once. Let me just change audio once.
Yeah. Somehow, Gitat is unable to. Let me give a brief what actually he
I'm not
is
being
trying
able
to
to hear
say.
you now.
Uh, Story of struggle that we can see in and around something which is new to this world, especially when we talk about India. So when I connect with a lot of people for help or to study more into and deeper, he didn't got that kind of a help, which is very unfortunate. So just let me know, or you can just log out once and log in once again.
The audio is not working actually.
Uh,
Okay, I'm trying to log out and log in again.
या ओके दैट विल बी ग्रेट. सो जैसे हमने सुना कि गिटार्थ ने काफी स्ट्रगल किया है और अभी भी स्ट्रगल कर रहा है. इनफैक्ट वो पीएचडी करना चाह रहा था माइसेलियम पे, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली वहां पे उनको मेंटर नहीं मिला, क्योंकि एक मेंटर को भी उस टॉपिक पे कुछ ना कुछ एक्सपर्टाइज होना चाहिए, लेकिन हमारे इंडिया पे माइसेलियम पे एक्सपर्ट्स ऑलमोस्ट है ही नहीं. दैट इज व्हाई he didn't got any support to do his PhD. So right now what he is pursuing, वो अपने आप से ही रिसर्च कर रहा है, इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च कर रहा है माइसिलियम पे. और जैसे कि मैं आपको बता रहा था कि his paper on ResearchGate really helped him connect with a lot of people across the globe, which has been a great help for him. And since he is having some audio issues, he will connect back and we'll try to have a chat with him once again. Uh, let's see. Gitat, can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can right now. It was, I don't know how. Yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay, great, great,
Yes,
great.
yes,
Okay,
yes. I think you
so
can hear me also clearly.
done. Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can hear you.
I,
Yes, yes. So let's continue.
okay, I
Let's
think there
continue.
was a
I was
glitch.
just
Yes,
telling,
yes.
yeah. I was just giving a brief how you were struggling to get a mentor, and also the paper on the ResearchGate helped you with the globe. You also mentioned that your work was mentioned in BBC. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I got in contact with one lady, as I told you. It was the name of the lady is Leslie Aviva Woodfin. So she is also an activist in activist for nature. Like she works for nature, and she has been writing for BBC, and then she wanted to like mention me in one article that she was writing for BBC. So in that way, she got in contact with me through LinkedIn, and then I was very much grateful. I told her I was very much grateful to get the chance to contribute to some article in BBC. So that's why she asked me a few things, and I told her, and that was mentioned. And I told that actually we should be able to utilize the agricultural waste properly. The thing that I was actually focusing on, like while I was talking to her, we told that everything that we see around us, every agricultural waste, whenever we move around anywhere, we see agricultural waste. It is common, and wherever we see agricultural waste, it is a resource in which mycelium can grow. It's a great resource. Everywhere, like wherever there is agricultural waste, we can utilize it for making mycelium products. In that way, we are utilizing the waste also. And the thing is that uh, until we implement it, people will not approve of it. If we just speak about it, people will not. People will just hear it and go away. We have to make the material, we have to implement it somewhere, and we have to let the people see that, see, this is the product, we are implementing it here and it is working in this manner, and then only people will approve it. Otherwise, just by talking about it, people will not accept it. People nowadays, they are many use meat, they are reluctant to accept something new. So we have to show it to them by making it instead of simply talking about it.
Right. So
And
let's move
yes.
into now into the other topic where let's try and understand how we can produce mycelium, how to create mycelium at home. Question will be mycelium be created.
Yes, the thing is that you can create your mycelium products at home. You can make it, but depending on the environment that you will create, suppose obviously you have to have a dedicated room, isn't it? So to make the mycelium product, the amount of investment you do in that room, like the amount of controlled environment that you generate in your room, the amount of quality you will get in your product. You see, you need to have a constant temperature when you are growing mycelium. You need to have a constant temperature, like suppose, for example, 25 degree. It has to be 24/7. So you have to keep your, you will be needing an AC. You have to keep it on 24/7 at 25 degrees. You need dehumidifiers to keep the humidity at in control, because like the humidity, various type of myceliums, they need various types of humidities. Then we need air
at our home. माइसिलियम देखिए नॉर्मली तो हर जगह पे मिलता है, लेकिन जब हम इसे कंट्रोल्ड ग्रोथ की तरह या कंट्रोल्ड प्रोडक्शन में जाते हैं तो हमें काफी सारे चीजों को कंट्रोल करके लाना पड़ता है. एंड दैट वाज दैट ही वाज मेंशनिंग. लेट मी ब्रिंग बैक. या कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
या
I
प्लीज
can
प्लीज
hear.
कंटिन्यू, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
Yes, and like you need air purifiers, ताकि other like competing microorganisms who can stop the growth of the mycelium, they become inactive. Okay, then you should wear PPE kit, you should wear gloves, you should wear masks. You need autoclave in order to like sterilize the substrate. Otherwise, the substrate, like you can say, for example, paddy straw. You are making mycelium with paddy straw, or you are making mycelium with sawdust, or like any other thing. Lots of things you can use. You have to sterilize it. For that, you need autoclave. So, and for pedistro, you need pedistro cutter, isn't it? You have to cut it into fine pieces. So, some investments will be there. Okay, and the more you invest on it, and the more you keep your room at control, the room indoor environment at control, the more like proper materials you will get. And the thing is that you have to be patient. And like you see, when you make a mycelium product, what is the main research? The main research is the recipe. Once you get the recipe, everything is done. You just have to now sell it in the market, isn't it? Once you get the recipe, like how much substrate, like paddy straw or sawdust or anything, you will mix it in how much quantity, like 10% paddy straw, 20% sawdust, 30% wheat bran, like that, and how much, like 10% mycelium, you will mix it. It may not work. Then you will be using a trial of like 15% paddy straw, 20% sawdust, like that. You have to do some trials, because there is no specific like rule book, like how much you will use. So the trial you have to do, and you have to be patient. You may do like 20, 30 trials, and it may not work out for you. We were lucky, like back then when we did our first trial itself, it worked out. But the thing is that the trial was our own formulation. It was not like after reading any book or so, because there is no such book where they will tell you like you have to mix this much material with this much to grow the mycelium to get the like final product. So that is the main thing. You have to have the patience. If someone does not have patience, and if someone just gets irritated after doing 5 or 6 trials, then this study is not for that person. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah,
You may
it's true.
fail after even 20 experiments, but the 21st experiment may work out for you.
Mhm. Okay.
That's the
And so if we come the way mycelium can help us, one of the topic that we want to discuss today is how it can be an alternative to plastic, right?
yes,
We
yes,
all have been talking about the harmful effects of plastic, lesser use of plastic, but there is a solution available, and there is a very good alternative to it. So can you focus some light on this topic, how mycelium can
yes.
of plastic?
Yes, Mycelium. You see, the company that actually first worked on mycelium material was Ecovative. They were the like the revolutionary people, the founders of Ecovative, based in US. They were the ones who started making mycelium products, and they started with making replacement of styrofoam, which is like used for packaging. So we can obviously we can whoever is like whoever is taking a decision of doing research on mycelium, they can start with making the styrofoam replacement with mycelium, because styrofoam is a form of plastic, and after like it is used as packaging obviously, but when the customer receives the product which is packed in styrofoam, after receiving the product, the customer will throw away the styrofoam, and it will just pollute the environment. But if we use a packaging of mycelium, then what will happen is that when the customer will receive the customer will open the product, and then the packaging, which is made of mycelium, and the customer throws it away or buries it in the soil, instead of becoming a pollutant, it will become a nutrient. So ultimately, it will be beneficial for the environment. So that is the very big advantage that we get from mycelium. We can totally replace styrofoam. And using mycelium, we can make many things. And styrofoam is the most basic one. If you, if anyone who is starting his or her research in mycelium, if he or she cannot make a replacement of styrofoam, then I'm sorry to say he or she will not be able to make other materials, because the other materials are more complicated. Styrofoam is the simplest one can make using mycelium. So other things, like in the advanced stage, the other things are like mycelium bricks, mycelium wooden panels. Then we can make false ceilings with mycelium. We can make insulators using mycelium. We can make mycelium leather. Mycelium leather is very advanced research. Like you cannot do it into your home. It's impossible. You can, in your home, you can make a mycelium packaging. That I can guarantee. It may not be of 100%, like it may not be of a quality that it can be sold in the market, but at least you will be able to get a packaging material which is of like at least 75% good quality. But other products, I'm sorry, you cannot make it in your home, like mycelium bricks, or like what I'm saying, plaster of Paris, insulators, mycelium leather. You need to have a setup, and that setup will cost you in lakhs. May For mycelium leather to it will cost you in crores. So, so this is my advice to anyone who is starting his or her research. You focus on, if you don't have a setup, then focus on making packaging. No need to focus on the other aspects. But if you have a proper dedicated lab, properly like dedicated lab, which like full investment is there, you can try making mycelium bricks and all other things. Over to you. I think your video has frozen.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Now you are audible. But yes, now your video is okay.
Yeah. So I was just asking, can you focus on, like you said, replace leather that little?
Yes, mycelium can replace leather, and this work is being done by a company called Mycotech in Indonesia right now. And how I came in contact with that is like when I was working with Shroom Labs for like from 2021, beginning of 2021, I told you I was working with Shroom Labs. So they were like interested in mycelium leather too, and they got in contact Mycotech from Indonesia. And from whatever they learned from the company, the Shroom Lab founder, whatever he or she learned from, whatever he learned from Mycotech, he told me that that the company who is making mycelium leather has orders for the next 5 to 7 years. Has already got orders for 5 to 7 years. Can you imagine? That is the demand. And the the advantage that that company has, the Mycotech, is that they are mentored by none other than Phil Ross. And Phil Ross, he is a product of Stanford, and he is also one of the like revolutionary in mycelium materials. Like he is at par with Ecovative. When I was studying about mycelium materials at the very beginning, I came in contact with Ecovative. At the same time, I came in contact with Phil Ross. So those were the people who started the revolution. And Phil Ross, he is the mentor of Mycotech. As far as I know, I don't have any written proof, but uh, as far as I have heard, obviously they need to have a mentor. Otherwise, uh, obviously you will not be able to get such success. Getting orders up to next 7 years, it is not a small thing. It's a big deal.
Right, right. So
Yes.
now, yeah, are you saying something?
Yes, I am saying that um, I also came in contact with some company. I don't want to disclose their name.
Mhm.
Uh, that company in India, that company is in India itself. Even they are also I'm sorry, I will cannot disclose their name. Um, they are also making mycelium packaging, and they are getting a little bit of success, like proper success in mycelium packaging, and maybe you might see their products in the market in the next 1 or 2 years. And the reason why they are actually getting success is that they are also getting help from some people who have done good work in mycelium. They are also mentored by people like not Phil Ross, but people who are at par with them. So since they are having those mentors, they are getting the success. So
Okay,
if you have a mentor, then you will be lucky.
right, right.
Yes.
Tell me one thing, that if a company is creating products out of mycelium, that
Yes.
mycelium product, is it grown in a controlled environment? Is it, or is it outsourced from the nature? How they're growing it in the lab?
The companies which are officially making it,
Mhm.
obviously they will have a dedicated setup. They will
Okay,
have a dedicated setup, and obviously they will have all the necessary facilities that needs to be needs to be there. You need to have air purifiers, as I have told, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, then air conditioners, and many more things you need to have. Then only you will get a market ready product. And obviously they need the setup because they will not be sticking to one particular quality, isn't it? They want to improve their quality, because there is competition in the market. So
right,
obviously, to improve your quality, you will have to have a lab. And if you are not having that lab, not having that proper setup, you will get material, obviously. But the thing is, you will not get a material which is ready for a market. Okay.
right. And also give me an idea that, for example, if I say, for example, I have a lab, I have got all the
Yes.
equipment ready, I have my
Yes.
team with me, I have the funding. So if I start growing mycelium in my lab, and on the other hand, I target to produce, say, for example, a mycelium brick. So what
Yes.
is the time span from where I will start to grow the mycelium and I will have an end product? Do you have any idea on that?
Yes. It will take around 2 to 3 weeks to get the finished product.
Okay. Okay.
And you see, let me tell you one difference between a
Yeah.
mycelium packaging and the mycelium brick. What is the main difference between the mycelium packaging and the mycelium brick? The main difference is the stiffness, isn't it? The mycelium
Mm.
packaging is of lower stiffness, and the
Yes.
mycelium brick will be hard. So for making mycelium brick, we need to make it hard. So how to make it hard? We have to give it compression
Compression. Yes.
while it is growing. When you grow it during the growth phase, if you don't give any pressure, then it will become like a thermocol, like a styrofoam, because it is not getting any pressure. So it will become a thermocol or styrofoam. But when you give a proper pressure on it during its growth phase, the pressure will make it stiff.
Mhm.
And there is one report by Phil Ross who mentioned about how much compression you need to give during the growth phase. And if you follow the same compression, if you use the same compression, you may end up lucky, you may end up getting the mycelium brick. That is the main difference. You have to apply compression. The more compression you give, the more hard the material will become.
Right. Right. And I have also
While I
heard.
was
Yeah. Yeah. Go on, please.
while I was working with my students, I tested the results of various type of compression, and we used some jugaad. Okay, like it was very beginning for us. Like it was 2017, and I was also like, no, I till today whatever I have learned. Obviously, at that time I did not learn that much. So uh, at that time itself in 2017, I studied that paper of Hildros, and I saw that like he gave one particular stress value that you need to apply during the growth of the mycelium, and like in that stress you will get the brick or so. So what I did was the jugaad that I was referring to is that I told the students to uh, to ap- to like to apply set of books over those materials. When it was growing, I told the groups to like suppose they were growing six materials, six mycelium material at one time. So in those mycelium materials, you can like I told them to apply like in one material apply six books, in one material like put 10 books over it, and one material just put two books over it. Like there will be variation in temperature, isn't it? So
Yeah.
uh, after like around 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the obviously the environment was not controlled at that time, so it took like around 1 month to grow the product. And we actually saw that like in the product where we give less amount of, over which we give less books, we put less books, where like we're comparatively less stiff, and the
Mm-hmm.
products above which we put the highest number of books were like the most stiff.
Mm-hmm.
So actually that was one deduction, that you need to give stress. The more stress you give, and the more you will get the hardness. So but since it was not a standard procedure the way which we did, it's when we have to publish something, we have to use like standard laboratory procedures. So
Mm-hmm.
since it was not a standard laboratory procedure, we could not publish it, but at least we got to know that like it works, the
Yeah.
stress component works.
Yeah. And is it also true that things made up of mycelium is also like fireproof? Bricks
Yes,
are extremely strong.
yes, yes.
Okay.
We applied fire over it, and we saw that it never catches fire. Smoke will come out, okay, it will become turned black, but not for a second. It catches fire. So, so if we implement it, in suppose wooden houses, in suppose in villages, obviously in city areas, in concrete homes, I'm not going to apply this mycelium panels because people will obviously resort to concrete walls, brick walls, and all. But if I say for rural areas or for resorts and all, if we apply mycelium panels on the outside of the walls or maybe on the inside of the walls, then what happens is if there is fire outside, then it will never come inside because it will never catch in the walls. So that is one very big safety characteristics of mycelium. You can, even my professor told me that while I was doing my independent research, one of my professors told me that why not make filler panels, like suppose the wall will be like having two wooden panels on two sides, and in between there will be a cavity which will be filled up by mycelium.
Hmm.
So it will be like a cavity wall, but the cavity will be filled with mycelium. So in that way, the wall will be fireproof. It will be like a
Hmm.
sandwiched wall where the two
Yeah.
outer layers will be of plywood or any wood, and the sandwich material in between will be mycelium.
Yes. And also tell usefulness of mycelium. Let's talk on that.
Yes, actually, I don't have much idea on the medicinal use because
Medicinal.
uh, like it will this will be like this area is, I think, the the appropriate person will be someone from another, who will be able to
Okay.
tell you about medicines of mycelium. And like since I am from civil engineering background, medicine is far away from my area. And
Okay.
I honestly speaking, I did not uh, do any experiment in the medicinal
But
aspects
have you heard of
because
anything like
yes,
useful things coming out of my? Yes. Okay. Okay.
yes, I actually don't know about the proper the specific medicinal we can say utility, but while I was working in mycelium, I was actually I came in contact with one professor called Dr. Supriyo Sen. He is
Hmm.
very he's a very good scientist in biotechnology. So since I was working on mycelium is fungus. So
Hmm.
obviously, I thought that it would be good to talk to him about it. And when I when I had the conversation with him, he told me that he is already working in mycelium, but on a different area like medicine. But he told me that um, like one of his master's students, master degree students, is doing her project in mycelium. But I did not ask further about it because I was actually focused on mycelium materials, mycelium packaging, mycelium bricks, and also I did not ask so much any other thing with him. But I know that work is going on. People are doing their masters, uh, doing projects in medicinal properties of mycelium. So work is going on, but um, I don't have much uh, idea.
Okay. Okay.
One person has commented, named Parinita Borua. I think you can see
Yeah.
she has also worked on mycelium actually with me,
Okay.
and she was doing her masters while we were discussing mycelium.
Hmm.
And
We have almost come to.
yes, yes. Uh,
Yeah.
One thing I would like to add, like if someone wants to make a proper setup of in his or her home itself, and make mycelium products, I think if you look into the budget, then it will not cost maybe it will not cost more than 1 lakh. Okay, what do you have to buy? Air conditioner, as I told you, all those things. Everything will not add up to 1 lakh. So if someone who is willing to spend 1 lakh at least, okay, max to max 1 lakh, and make a proper setup in his or her home, then I think that is a very good way to go. And he or she will definitely end up like making some good material, some market
Also,
ready material, in fact.
also, what kind of a team do you need to have an end product from the team and
The team,
experts to?
see, one thing is that you need to have a research team who will only focus on the research and only focus on the how to make the quality of the product
Mhm.
um, more and more better every day, like how to make it better. And there will be one team which will completely focus on the business,
Okay.
on approaching other companies and giving proposals to them to use mycelium packaging. So one team should be properly dedicated to marketing, and one team should be only dedicated to research. Because if you are doing research and doing marketing, then like your work will not be efficient.
Mhm.
So two teams should be there. You
Okay.
have to have make proper presentations before clients, and you have to convince the clients to use your product,
Mhm.
isn't it? So like that is, and you need to have some mentor, as I've told you.
Yeah.
Uh, Even if that mentor might not be from like having experience in mycelium, but you need to have some mentor who is like well experienced in biotechnology, who is well experienced in research in fungus, who has experience in fungus mainly.
Mhm. Mhm.
So because mycelium is fungus, and who else will be better than a scientist in the field of biotechnology, like to consult
Mhm.
when you have any like doubt regarding the mycelium.
Right. Okay.
So mentor, the research team, and the marketing team. Three three components you need to have.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So if I conclude today's discussion, then one part is uh, is the study of initiation of a research regarding mycelium is very much required when we see the perspective when we see from the perspective of our country India, right? That in India there is not much of a culture or support or mentoring support to study or to take a deep dive into mycelium and its products and its use, its potential, and all those things.
Yes.
Second, once we get the mycelium complete, we can then step into the second process of producing some kind of a product out of this mycelium. But naturally, there will be investment required, and there will be mentorship requirement, and there will be a little bit of R&D team and production team and marketing team. But the most important part, I think, we need to start uh, to talk or spread awareness about this mycelium. Once I think the awareness will come in everyone, they will start talking, they will look out for people who can I think then the movement will start towards a positive way, that yes, something can be made out of this mycelium, and it can be an alternate something, it can be medical, it can be for architecture, or it can be at least start. Right now what I can see is that very few people are working at their own level with their own at their own capacity in various corners of our country. Acha, tell me one thing, Gitartha, is there any, if someone wants to start a project or startup based on this mycelium, is there some government support available as of now? Have you tried for some government support to do some project with mycelium?
Yes, obviously the government will support you because the government is right now is always working against plastic.
Yeah.
Right now, everywhere the government is working against plastic. So if this is actually the best, this is the time, like I can tell you one line: hit the iron while it is red. So right
Mhm.
now, the government is totally against plastic, and at this time, if you approach the government for like with this proper, if you have to make a proper project and proper research report, okay, like what you will be doing with mycelium, and if you approach the government, I think you will obviously get the support. And
Mhm.
even we got like one funding from one government agency, like at around 2019. But due to like some problems, we actually could not do the work. We
Mhm.
actually submitted one report with my student groups, but the thing is that we could not start the work due to some other problems. We got the funding also, but since we could not start the work, we actually could not utilize the funding. But yes, nowadays the government is always like always welcoming. Whenever
Yeah.
you approach the government with some good ideas, and this is one topic which can be like totally implemented in the rural areas.
Mhm.
And government is nowadays working in like for development in the rural areas. And even my wife is an engineer in rural development.
Mhm.
So I see from her like that when I see her work, I see that like so many schemes are being given by government for development of the rural areas. So
Mhm.
if we approach the government with this type of work, obviously, like when government will see that there is some positive in the rural areas for this type of work, there's some like positive impact will be there. Obviously, there is no doubt that like your
Help
the
will come.
government will not support you. It will
Yeah.
support. Government will support you. There's no doubt. But
Yeah.
just the thing is that you have to. Obviously, it's not like you just go and the government will approach the government and government will give you the funding. It's not like that. Obviously, you have to make a good presentation. You have to have the studies. You have to know the topic A to Z. It's not like just
Yeah.
you simply go and say that I'm making mycelium material and give me funding. They will not give you. You
Mm.
have to have knowledge. You have to do your homework
Yes.
and make a good project.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's no doubt government will help you.
Yeah. So I think as a storyteller, I see from our discussion is that our next step should be to kind of document all the people and their work who are independently
Yeah,
working on mycelium. I think that
yeah,
is very important to create a kind of a document which will show that if we do something independently, if we get support, then I think we can do wonders.
yes, yes,
Wonderful.
yes,
So I think we have got a very good idea of what mycelium is capable of and how we can work on it.
yes,
Let's conclude today. Do you have anything
yes,
to end the session?
yes. I actually forgot to mention one company. This is called as Tiny Farms Lab,
Mhm.
and I came in contact with them. The founder, one founder, I came in contact with. His name is Raghav Kumar, and they are based in Rishikesh. They are working
Okay.
in Rishikesh, and they were working in mycelium materials too, and they made some very nice materials, and they were uploading it in their page, and like Tiny Farms Lab. If you search in Facebook, you will get to see. But
Mhm.
a few days back, I just happened to get in contact with Raghav, and I was asking him about how your work is going on. Then he told me that he has like they have temporarily, I don't know, temporarily or permanently actually. Right now they have stopped their work on mycelium. It was just like an experiment, and they are now working on some other areas like mud
Mhm.
house or so. So
Mhm.
you can see one example, like right before you, I have said one example, like the work did not continue.
Mhm.
It got stuck somewhere. So like that is what is happening. That is the reality.
Yeah.
But the materials that they made, if you search in Facebook, Tiny Farms Lab, the materials that they made at the very beginning was very nice.
Hmm.
I think they could have like brought their materials to the market, but I don't know what happened. Actually, if I try to give a concluding remark, I should say that it's like a motivation. Like, you see, uh, we have already degraded our environment. We know we have already degraded our environment to some level which we cannot even imagine. And so, if we can replace like the current like materials which are like not environmental friendly, if those harmful materials, if we can replace the harmful materials with something like sustainable, then like it will be a very good contribution to Mother Earth. So why not work for our Mother Earth?
Yeah. So with that note, the idea is basically to help Mother Earth sustain itself, and also I think Mother Earth
Yes.
will anyhow sustain, but it will come to us that whether we will be able to sustain or not. And
During the lockdown, our Mother Earth took some breath, took
yeah,
some
yeah,
like was like a little bit relieved. But
yeah,
now our Mother Earth has again gone back to the
yes,
original situation.
correct. Let's stay focused and let's stay hopeful that let's keep
Yes,
working towards what we believe in. I think there will
yes,
be a day when we'll be achieving our dream. So,
yes,
thank you, Gitarth, for sharing your knowledge and sharing your story with us and how
yes.
you are
Thank you.
progressing with mycelium, a wonderful substance that we uh, don't know exactly. Uh,
Thank
but
you.
slowly,
I
naturally, with this kind of stories and discussions, I hope people will come to know about mycelium and they will do their own research and find out.
so I have actually
So,
hello.
yeah, yeah, go on.
I have actually made one group. It was like it was made a few years back. Mycelium Materials Research Group. Mycelium Materials Research Group. It was like a Facebook group community that I have made, like, and many people have joined. So whoever is watching our podcast here, they can join that group where we can discuss. We can make a community in that group,
Yes.
and we can discuss whatever progress each one of us is doing in this area.
Yeah. So what we can do is that we can list down some of the links using which people can
Yes,
learn more about mycelium or join groups or even watch the documentaries that are available. So we will list down
yes,
all the links in the description of this
yes,
YouTube channel. You can go through it and you can join the group. You can watch for more knowledge and all those things. So I
yes.
think that was a great discussion with you, Gita. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
I
very
think
much.
let's plan for some story where we can place and document your work or may interact with your
Definitely.
students or help us connect with other people who are working on mycelium so that we can come up with a strong story and put up a story of people working in and around mycelium in India.
Let's yes, let's make India the epicenter of mycelium materials.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much
Thank you.
and have a great night, and
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
thank you all for watching, those who will watch, and please try and find it's all about research, start studying about it, and also create some wonderful things so that we can create some great alternatives for the world. So thank you so much once again, everyone, for watching, and thank you once again, Gitarth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.